Hello my friends, and welcome to the channel for another Escape from Tarkov video. This time with a look at a new AKMN setup that I think is going to continue the trend of the AK being the ultimate cost-effective PvP build in patch 12.12. While the AK has seldom been considered the de facto best weapon in Tarkov, they've always been the scrappy underdog that can keep pace with the best builds in the game for half the price, especially since 7.62 BP ammo is one of the easiest armor-piercing rounds to get your hands on. For this video, rather than going over builds for every individual AK, I have one specific build on the AKMN that I want to go over, because it now has access to some very key attachments that make it really sing once you max out your traders. I'll talk about how you can modify the build to work with other AKs at the end, and I've got some gameplay with this build to show in action as well, but for now, let's take a look at the build. First up, I'm focusing on the AKMN in particular because there's a really easy purchase for it at mechanic level 3 where you buy a stripped down rifle for less than you can get it from other traders or on the flea market. This build will work on the regular AKM as well, but this is how I like to get my AK to start the build off. To start off, we've got honestly the most important part of the new build for patch 12.12, which is the muzzle device, starting with the AK308 adapter for the AKM. For this one, I want to start off by talking about the Lantac BMD combo, which first needs the Lantac A3 adapter. After this, you attach the blast mitigation device and then the Lantac Dragon compensator, and then you have one of the most effective and budget-friendly recoil reduction setups in the entire game. This setup works really well for aggressive plays when you don't mind running loud, and the ergonomics with this is pretty solid while still having quite low recoil. If you want to run this setup suppressed, you also have some really great options. The best choice is the new KAC muzzle brake kit with the KAC PRS QDC suppressor attached onto that. Just remember that you want the muzzle brake kit from Mechanic and not the QD compensator from Peacekeeper, because both parts will mount this suppressor and one is a lot better. This gets you better recoil stats than the BMD for a bit of extra cost, and honestly either this or the blast mitigation device combo are insanely good on the AKM this patch. Keep in mind that a lot of other 7.62 suppressors will also work with this adapter, so some really good parts like the SDN6 and the Thunderbeast suppressor will work basically as good as the KAC, and they're pretty common to find in weapon boxes by comparison. Next up, for the best handguard on the AK, we're looking at the Troy handguard and gas block combo, which overall has the best stats and a pretty great price from Mechanic. You'll need some QARS rails for this thing from Mechanic level 4, so this handguard is kind of locked to max level traders, because otherwise these rails cost as much as the entire build by itself. For attachments on this one, I generally stick with the RK1 foregrip because it has higher recoil reduction with decent ergonomics, and then an X400 flashlight or a laser of some kind. You could also go with an RK2 grip for more recoil reduction, or you could go with the SE5 Express for more ergonomics, but personally I think the RK1 is perfect on AKs. For the sight mount, we're just using a Bastion dust cover for the cheap price and extra stats, and then an optic like the EOTech Holo Sight or whatever you prefer. I honestly do like this build with some longer range optics, but keep in mind that the 7.62 round is a little bit slow, so using 6x scopes is sometimes a bit overkill. For the back of the AKM setup, I've got the Zhukov S stock for maximum recoil reduction and a Scorpius pistol grip for the ergonomics bonus. There is also a new AGS 74 pistol grip as well, but I don't really know if double the price is worth it for 2 extra ergonomics points, so you're going to have to make up your own mind on that one. Finally, the last piece that I have on here is the CSS charging handle for 2 extra points of ergonomics. When this setup is complete, you end up with 50 recoil and 61 ergonomics for a total cost of about 200,000 rubles for the blast mitigation device setup. If you run with the KAC suppressor, you get 48 recoil and 43 ergonomics for a total cost of around 230,000 rubles. The recoil on either of these setups is quite good for an AKM, and it gets you a very controllable platform to rain down 7.62 BP on your enemies for an amazing price compared to something like the Mutant. Personally, I think this AKMN build with the BMD combo is going to be one of the most popular setups for running loud and playing aggressive and going for PvP kills. The price is right, the stats are good, everything is sold by the traders, and if you run this with BP ammo, basically no armor can stand up to your shots. The only changes you'll need to make for this build on different AKs will be the muzzle device and maybe the stock. So let's quickly go over those so you'll be able to set this build up similarly on any AK. First up, for the muzzle device, if you're not using the AKM, you really have 3 top tier options, starting with the JMAC RRD 4C compensator, which is definitely the most cost effective, and it'll fit onto any of the AK-74 rifles, the AK-103, and the AK-101. If you really want to get spendy, the AK-74M can use the new reactor muzzle brake and the waffle maker suppressor, but this setup is over 100,000 rubles on the flea market and it isn't sold by any traders, so use this only if you have money that you want to burn. Finally, the AK-101 can also use modern suppressors by attaching the CNC Warrior adapter, also sold by Mechanic. The best option available for this is the Silencer Co. Saker suppressor and the ASR 556 muzzle brake, which is about 60,000 rubles on the market and gets you some very nice recoil reduction. The AK-101 can also use some of the same suppressors as the AKM, like the SDN6 and the Thunder Beast, by using this adapter. The last part that you might need to change is the stock, because the Zhukov S stock is only usable on old AKs like the AKM, the AK-74, and the 74N. Your best option for newer AKs is to use the Zenit PT3 Classica stock, which needs a PT lock adapter from Skier Level 2. This setup gets you a pretty good balance of recoil and ergonomics, but still isn't as quite good as the Zhukov setup on an AK-74N or the AKM. Well, that basically covers it for this build, and now I've got a bit of gameplay with this setup for the rest of the video so you can see this thing in action. Most of these clips were actually recorded off stream, playing by myself and with a buddy, so the vibe is a bit different compared to most of my stream highlights. When I tried to show this thing off on stream though, luck was definitely not on my side, and I pretty much donated 10 of these rifles to lucky PMCs on customs. But that was honestly more a case of the player failing the gun and not the other way around. In any case, I hope you enjoy, and let me know what you think of the build. Does the AKMN have potential to sit in the meta now, or will it fade away once people hoard enough M61? Thanks for checking out the video. I've got links to my Twitch stream, Discord server, and Patreon page down below for anyone interested. And until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City. Goddamn sniper scab. Shit shoots pretty straight even after 100 meters though. Oh man, I'm a little bear sandwich right now. Man, this guy's got some good shots. Okay, I thought those guys were on separate teams. There's a third one. Ah, damn, I don't have my BP. Ooh, I can't tell if he's dead. Give him the old underhand toss. Oh, G28. Hello, my son.
Remember at one point those H2O2s were selling for like actually like a decent amount of money.
Yeah, because people are using them to craft their sallows.
I didn't actually define that key there. You're gonna get a rooster there on you. Oh, there's
Someone's coming in on us from the staircase. Keep making noise on wood, just keep walking back and forth.
There's two. Careful, careful.
Hold up.
Yeah, I'm
push
just
it with the laser on.
He's coming.
He's coming to the right.
He's at the other. I hit him. Landmark!
What?
He's like, landmark?
Yeah, I
Dude,
know.
look at how
why.
big these boys were, buddy. Is landmark here? This guy was level 34 that you killed.
He's got MK17. They are pretty thick though, aren't they?
I'm gonna take this. Oh.
Yep. God damn it. Pretty sure I just killed Rashala. Yeah. Killed Rashala and got domed by the Zavodsky. Oh wow, these guys are actually fighting someone up there. Which means there might even be some people hanging out on that fence. Oh shit. Where are these boys? Holy shit, though. Rumble in the fortress. Grenade. Give him the old underhand toss there. Oh god, I brought some of the wrong ammo. That's awkward. he's coming up the other side now. Whew. AKM strikes again. Pretty sure we're both using like the exact same gun. Where's the door? So I think this is what I heard him jump on metal. Okay, it's not quite the exact same build, but it is an AK.